Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Ashlee.
Welcome to the Capital Mom
Real Life Conversation.
It's real life. We're going to start with our Glimmer and our Dimmer. And my Glimmer for this month is just Wicked. Have you seen Wicked? Because I saw it and I feel like it's like I think about it every day. Like we listen to the soundtrack.
She made this cute reel with her daughter. It was darling.
It's just been so fun to like bond in it with all of my kids. So we took all three of my kids, 7, 5, and 2, and we kind of debated it because we knew it was almost 3 hours long, especially with previews. And my son had no interest in going, and we were like, well, you're coming. Like we're going as a family. My husband went, and my husband was like, boys can go too. Like boys can like musicals, and so they got him in. My mom went, and it was just incredible, and it kept their attention. Like I couldn't believe that my 2-year-old and my 5-year-old
I actually didn't realize that Becky went with you too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And Finley.
I've had parents messaging me being like, do you think my kid can like handle it? And I was like, yes. It keeps their attention. Like we were like trying to find like when should we go to the bathroom because it's so good and you don't want to miss anything. So, and it's just been really fun. Like my 2-year-old knows so many words to the soundtrack, and it's just been really fun, like bonding. I just love it so much, and we're already counting down till next November. So
I feel like music too is just so connecting. Like you can dance to it, you can sing together. Like it's such a you can do it together.
Absolutely.
And it's so fun. And then it's like your inside joke type thing together a little bit, you know?
Absolutely.
Where you're like,
but I was coming to school pickup.
I can finish my sentences when I'm singing. And
yes. I was going to school pickup last week and I was singing, and my 7-year-old was like, Mom, wait till we get in the car. Like, oh no, I'm already embarrassing. I don't even care.
I love it. Okay, well mine involves singing as well. I did go and it was phenomenal. Yes. And I have a funny thing to share too. It has been so long since I've been in the theater. I don't go to movies very often. It had been so long that I'd been to the theater that I didn't know that there were recliners.
Oh.
And I was like a little kid at the candy shop, and my friend that
I
went
up
with,
and down.
Yes, I was like, what? Picking my legs up, and my friend that I went with was just like, taking me in. She knows me, so she knows that I am just funny like that. But I was just like, oh my gosh. And I saw people coming in with blankets, and I was like, this is the best thing in the world. And then like halfway through, I'm like snuggled up to her like this because you can like... Anyway, it was great. I loved it.
Yes, and Ashlee had this we had this major Wicked bonding earlier this week.
Yeah, we did.
Because my husband doesn't really want to delve into it with me. My daughter does, but I want to talk about it more. And Ashlee and I had this amazing hour-long just
we were like,
Wicked.
Oh, what's
tell me all the things. Yeah, and it was just so great.
You know who this was?
Yeah.
Things like that. Okay, yeah. So mine involves music as well, but it was my little guy's, so Levi's Christmas concert for his little preschool, and it was early in the morning, so we all got out of bed. We got there, but cutest thing, because he just hammed it up, and it was I just feel like that's my dream as a mom. I always want to see my kid just be ham it up when he gets up there,
so happy.
Yes, just be themselves, but also when they're hamming it up like that, I feel like they just feel so loved. Yes. And there's so much attention. So our sisters were there too, my daughters, and so we were all there to support him, and he knew that. And his smiles, and he was trying to make us laugh on the stage, and it was just.
And the littlest one doesn't get that. It's always been watching the big sisters, and so it was his turn.
It was his turn, and he just ate it up, and we were eating it up right along with him.
So cute.
It was just great.
So cute. I love that. My eyes are watering. Okay, so this is gonna air right after Christmas. And we have not experienced Christmas yet, but we're going to pretend that we have, and it was amazing. And we have our Christmas tree in the background.
Yeah.
We're recording in a new spot this month because it's the morning and the light in my house comes in from this window better.
That's
So
really beautiful.
So we're having kitchen table talk.
Yep. Kitchen
instead
table talk.
of green couch talk.
Yes. Yes. And very real talk too. A lot of this is based on the stuff that we're experiencing this month.
Yes.
Like very specific little examples of things that we are going through. So we're hoping that some of these you are going through as well, and maybe there will be a little spot of inspiration that you can draw from this or take from this into your own home that helps bring more happiness and peace in your home too.
Absolutely. And I think it's best when we do that. Like we found that some months that we've been like trying to talk about something and we're like, we're just not really feeling this right now because right now this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And so talking about what's on our hearts.
We're talking at you because we're in the same situation and we're learning as we go too.
Yeah.
So I think talking about the things that are happening in our lives works.
And like what we're doing, how
Works
we're handling
best.
them. Yeah. So right now it's Christmas break, most likely, and everyone is home. Your kids are home. And some of you might be feeling a little like, oh, when is this break gonna end? Everybody's here and there's so much noise and there's chaos and kids are arguing. And I guess we just want to encourage, even though we're not there yet, but we know we will be in a few weeks, to soak it in. And I know that it's 2 weeks and it is a moment when everyone is home. And that is
a little overwhelming at times.
It's overwhelming, but it's also so special too. And you want to make sure that you like really are enjoying your little people before they are gone at school again. So I found a poem. It's called Everyone is Home. And it's like gonna make us cry probably. So I'm gonna try. But it says, you're 10 years old and everyone is home. Mom is cooking, dad is watching TV, and your siblings are doing their own thing, but everyone is home. You're laying in your childhood bedroom, dreaming of the day when you get to be grown up and be on your own. You wanted to be older so badly that you forgot to take in the comfort of everyone being home. Now you're in your 20s and you wish you could go back. You and your siblings, holy cow, you and your siblings have all moved out. Your parents have aged and they're trying to get used to the term empty nesters. You start to notice their gray hair and wonder where all the time has gone. I did not expect it. You realize, Ashley, you might have to take over right here.
You realize that there will never be another day where you all live together again. Your siblings aren't just in the other room, they are somewhere else. Every now and then you will visit, but you will never stay. You will never play together again. You will not wake up and eat breakfast together every morning, and there will be no more family movie nights. You won't even see each other every day. I'm longing for the feeling of home, but I can't go back. My childhood home has been ripped down and pieces of it are scattered in all different places. Nobody is home.
I know. Like, holy cow. That's so yeah, just like I found that and I was like, man, that is exactly what I was trying to say. Of just like soaking it in and knowing that like our kids are little for such a short season of their life and of our lives. And yeah.
And I feel like too, if ever, because I know I can feel this sometimes too, like pouring love into our kids or spending extra time with them at bedtime or whatever, that sometimes I can feel like, oh, I don't know, like I'm giving them too much time or too much attention. And obviously it's important to have the balance for yourself, but at the same time, like you often hear about how people are like, but like live each day as if it's your last, and what would you want to do, and what would you say if you didn't see them, that I'm exactly what I did was what I would do, So I think remembering that, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more in here, but I know we just had Christmas and that, but like I think what our kids and what my kids want most from me is just my undivided attention. They just want me very present with them. And I think that is possible. I just have to let go of all the other stuff, which is harder than it's harder to do than to just say. Yeah. If I just let go of certain things, I'm not saying like let your house go or like things like that. Like you have to keep certain things going. But like as far as being extra busy with activities or extra busy with things like that, like they just want to spend time with us doing whatever we're doing. And if I'm present, it's more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
If I am with my head in other spaces is when conflict happens either in myself that makes it not as enjoyable an experience, or with them because they feel that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
and sometimes we have to like get ourselves to a good spot before we can pour into others.
Yes, absolutely.
And I feel like you're really good at knowing that. Oh, like last week I think you did that where you were just like, I'm gonna get myself back so that I can give to
yes,
the
it's
others.
true. Yes, there was one evening where I was like, and good night. I was like, done.
Yes.
But the times that I have felt just so at peace is when sometimes when we're driving as a family to go do some activity or something like that, but we're all together, we're in the same vehicle, everything that I need or could possibly like, need or want is in
right
that space.
Yep.
And there's something magical about that for me. I just like love it. We get in and I'm just like,
we're all here. Everyone's here.
It's such a complete feeling. And you're right. Like that will not last. And so soaking that in, I think is just such a so great to remember.
Yeah. So this month we are going to talk about kind of about that, about accepting our kids where they are, meeting them where they are, and kind of how we do that. And realizing that that's going to be different for our different kids. So the first kind of example is I have a daughter, then a son, then a daughter. And before I had my son, was kind of nervous to have a boy because whenever I would see other little boys, I would have no clue how to talk to them. Like, I wasn't really interested in cars, wasn't interested in dinosaurs, like any of those things. So I'd see like a nephew or somebody at a holiday, and I would just be like, hi. That's all I have. And as I've gotten older, I realized so much more that it's just about like meeting them where they are. So you notice that they are playing with a car. Hey, which car is your favorite? Which car is your favorite, and why? Why do you like that car? Or like, what kind of dinosaur is that? And just meeting them in what they are playing in and what their world is how you can really connect with a child, boy or girl. It doesn't matter, because all they want to do is feel a connection. And to feel a connection is asking about their world.
Yes, like showing interest, like someone who shows interest in them and what they like.
And it might not be what you like, and that's okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to come up with some like elaborate story to then play with them always. I think sometimes just in asking some of those questions, something's gonna pop up from that to lead to play.
Right. And that's kind of what we said. If you don't know what to say, so like I know some people have like social anxiety of like going into a situation and like, I don't know what I'm gonna say to this person because I don't know them. And I found as I've gotten older that if you just ask about them, like, hey, what's going on in your life? How's your sister? How's this? How's work? And that will start a conversation. Actually, there's the show, what is it? I just started watching it. Nobody Wants This on Netflix. Have you watched it yet?
No.
Okay, it's really cute. It's with Kristen Chenoweth. Right? No, that's not her name. The one who plays Anna.
Oh, hold on. Oh,
Kristen Bell. Kristen Bell, not Chenoweth. I'm on Wicked. I'm thinking Wicked.
Yeah.
Kristen Bell's in it. And anyway, there's a guy who's giving her sister advice on how to talk to somebody. And he's like, if you don't know what to say, just repeat what they say. And she was like, okay. So she tries it, and they're like, I don't know, it was just like hilarious, where they were like, oh yeah, I went to the store today. And she was like,
oh, you went to the store?
Yes. Yeah, and then when I was there, I got some oranges, and they looked really good.
Really good?
Yeah. It was just like so funny that they like
just like keeps.
Yeah, it just kept going, and it was like, and then finally she was like, oh yeah, that worked really well. So yeah, getting into their world and talking. If you don't even have to talk about yourself at all. So and then what Ashlee said, what our kids really want most is us and our attention.
Yeah.
And we know sometimes that's hard, especially for me. I think we've talked about this before. At home is hardest.
Yeah.
Because I have all these things. I've got dishes over here. I've got laundry. I've got all these little things.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times getting out of the house, and we had a whole episode on getting out of the house with our kids. But it resets, and it also focuses your attention on where you are and what you're doing, and not so much on everything around you.
Yeah, and I think in giving like that attention, then when you've given it to, if you need to step away, I think that they're more understanding at that point when you need to step away too. Because sometimes then we'll say like, hey, this has been great and I've loved it. I'm gonna step away and go do something that I need to do.
Yeah.
But I think they're more understanding when that. But if I've been like half in, half out, and then I'm like, I need to step away.
Yeah.
You know.
And they feel more fulfilled too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
So another example I had was my 2-year-old Finley just adores Ashlee. And I was thinking about, why are our kids attracted to certain people, and what is it in those people that makes them feel loved?
Mm-hmm.
And I think with Ashlee and Finley, like every time Ashlee sees Finley, she gets down on her level and she's like, Finley, how are you? And like touches her and like just like makes her feel so loved. And Finley's like, yay, we're going to Ashlee's house. And I love that she has that, because I think a lot of adults sometimes are so in there like, I want to talk to Ashlee. Like when I come to her house, I just really want to talk to you. But like Ashlee makes it a priority to make my kids feel special and loved. And it like taking those little moments is huge in how they feel about you. So that's really special.
You. Well, and I honestly had some friends that I felt like I watched do that with my kiddos a lot too. And it means so much as a parent too. And then you see like their kiddo, like your kids appreciate or take that in, and it just creates that feeling of village, which is what we're, you know, talking about, why we're here talking about this, creating like mom, parent village, right?
Yeah.
That just helps create that where they feel safe and loved, and it's just one extra adult that they can.
Yes. And you're not always going to be the only influence in your child's life, but making sure they have other adults who are like good mentors or good friends even.
Love them.
And love them with you.
Yes. One of the next points, one of the other things that we were going to talk about is just how our children will have many interests, and many of them won't be things that we've done. And remembering, as much as excited as we are sometimes to share our particular interests with our kiddos, giving them time and space to either let that develop, but also giving them time and space to pursue other things that we maybe didn't do. So my oldest daughter, is doing dance and violin. Those are her 2 favorite things right now. And I never did dance. I mean, I did show choir in high school, which did not count. Does not count. But dance and violin. I never played violin. I did not do a string instrument aside from a little guitar class. But anyway, I did piano. And it's been amazing letting her pursue her interest and letting other people guide and teach her in that. Because then I just get to soak it up. Like, I just get to be like, that's amazing, Ellie, because I don't know the critiquing, I don't know all of that. And so I just get to be in awe of what she's doing. And I think that that's actually been a really fun space for me to be in.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So,
and sometimes on the flip side, from my experience, I have a daughter who is doing dance, and I was a dancer, and sometimes it's hard as a parent to not like turn into a coach and want to be like, point your leg, point your toe, straighten your leg, like, and you just want to like bite your tongue because you know that they'll be like, Mom, like, stop it.
Yes.
And so it is good it's okay if they do the same thing that you did, obviously, but allowing yourself to kind of process that if they don't do what you do, it's okay too. And it can actually be really magical to witness them discover something new that you didn't have as a passion, but is their passion.
Yeah, and then they teach you about it. So you are going to learn about it because it's your child. You're going to learn some about it, and it'll still be connecting in that way because you're going to be experiencing it together. But
and some of the best ways to learn is through teaching. So when your kid has a new skill and they get to teach it to their parent, that can actually feel really fulfilling and like, wow, I'm so good at this that I can teach you. Because their whole life they're being like, we are the expert. And then they get to be the expert, which is really fun.
Yep, and it's really fun. John often he's good at this, where he'll be like, all right, I'm going to try that ballet move. And then she just thinks
it's hilarious.
It's the funniest thing ever. Yes, it's great.
Yes.
We kind of talked about
I'm
this
gonna
a
do this
little.
one.
So,
So I found a reel that was talking about our kids and what they believe. And so it said, if you tell your kids that Santa's real, they believe you. If you tell your kids that if they put their tooth under the pillow and a fairy's gonna come and take it and give you money, they believe you. So if you tell your kid that they are annoying and disruptive and rude, guess what? They believe you. And so the way we speak to our kids matters so much. If we tell our kids that they are capable and brave and amazing and powerful and whatever it is that you want to speak over your kids that can build them up, they will believe you. And that is so important.
Yeah. And I really love this too. And so I have a quote actually up in my hallway. I've had it since, I may have even had it in our first home, but it was one of the first things I feel like I bought to put between my kiddos' pictures. And it's this quote. It says, speak to your children as if they are the wisest, kindest, most beautiful and magical humans on earth. For what they believe is what they will become. And it's just so true. Like if someone builds you up over and over and over again, you just have that to fall back on. Whoop! Fall. You have that to fall back on, and it just feels good inside. It feels good to do, and like not in a way of like making up stuff. You're not trying to be insincere, but like focusing on the things that are positive that you can, because their perception of like we help offer them their perception of themselves.
Absolutely.
And that's a big thing I feel like in our world right now that I want to help my kids have is a perception of themselves that is positive and understanding and kind.
And finding little moments throughout your day to do that, just like one little comment can mean so much. Like my son was outside playing with our dog and he gave her a stick. Like he ran around the yard to try to find a stick and gave it to her. And I just was like, hey buddy, that was really nice. She really liked that stick. But like to him, he was like, yeah, I did that.
Yes.
I was really nice to my dog. Like, and I could tell that even just like a little comment like that means something. And I also think not like making it too big of a deal where you're like, wow, that was amazing. Like just little moments throughout your day where you just talk in a neutral voice.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I saw you do that. That was really nice.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah. And the same child the other day, actually we were over at a play date with Ashlee, and right before we came, I picked him up from preschool. I had groceries in the back of the car. And he, without me asking, went and got all 3 jugs of milk because he's really into like being strong right now. When he's like, Mom, I grabbed the milk, and I could just tell he felt like $1,000,000. And then when we came inside, he started to pack his own little lunchbox for him and his sister. And so when we got to Ashlee's house, I just, knowing that he could hear,
listening,
was like, Ashlee, you won't believe what Brecken just did.
Yes.
He grabbed 3 milk gallons and he packed his own lunch. And he was just sitting there and I could tell he was just like,
he was absolutely listening.
Yeah.
And you could tell it made a big difference for him.
Yeah.
And because like we've been talking about like building our kiddos up really this last month a lot, we really have, trying to like balance ourselves enough to be able to pause and be like, their emotions are big. I need to not feed into that as much as possible, because they're normal. They're having big emotions. They're kids. So I get to help with regulation. Like that's our job.
And the other thing Ashlee and I talked about was if a child feels bad about themselves, like I am a bad kid and how I'm acting, I am always acting up and I'm always throwing fits and I'm always in trouble. Guess what? They are going to think poorly of themselves. And then they're going to become a kid who always acts up and is in trouble, And
and part of it is just they also like are wanting our attention.
Yes.
They just want our attention.
Yes.
So like they're not necessarily they're not a
they're
bad
gonna
kid.
Right. They're gonna seek it in whatever way they can get it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I give attention when it's not great. Like
sometimes
just
you
like
really catch yourself and you're like,
or just like any parent. Where like, so for example, my little guy, which is why I've really appreciated these conversations that we've been having, because my little guy can tend to, right now he's just in a phase where like something doesn't go his way and he just like falls apart. And I can get through like 3 or 4 of those and then I am like a little spent. Yeah, I'm a little spent. And then I can tell that that's what I'm focusing on a little bit, is the fact that like I'm on edge. He's going to lose his mind over something. I don't know what it is. And kind of become like a little bit, I mean, it's hard, so I'm not negating that it's hard, but feeling a little like wanting to protect myself and then not being there for him in a way. But focusing on just like the little things, words of affirmation. I really feel like, I think girls need it too. I think all genders, but I've noticed too that I feel like my boy really also appreciates this. Just words of affirmation mean a lot. And so I've been trying to little things like that.
Sprinkle it in.
Really sprinkle, the praise on those little things. Like if he does get his cup and get his water by himself without throwing it, without saying something, be like, Bud, that was really great. Like, I noticed you how you got that water. Yes. Like little things. So you're just like really hyper focusing on those good things that are happening. And I notice a big difference in him as well. And then the great thing too is that we've been working on this with we've been talking about it with our kiddos. So then when Brecken was at our house, I really tried to
do the same
to notice those things that he was doing and point that out, to know that like, your mom's not the only adult that sees these good things. Here's another adult that sees. Yes, because we're in this together. But like, here's another adult cares about you. I see these good things that you're doing. You were so good, and he, like, we had a good play date.
And they internalize that good, and they're like, I am a good kid, and I have this and this and this to contribute to, that, I don't know, it just changes everything from like thinking that they are a troublemaker and always in trouble to like, no, I'm a good kid, and I have these adults who tell me, and they believe in me, and I believe in myself. And it changes like the whole trajectory. So, and every kid is different, because I have two other kids who don't need that as much. They have other, and I suppose that comes down to like love languages. Like maybe they just like to snuggle more. They like to, whatever it may be, but our boys in particular, and so that's why we're saying maybe it's boys, but maybe it's just our kids.
Could just be ours.
Really, really are showing like huge signs of change in their behavior just simply by these little tokens of like gratitude and appreciation and seeing them where they are.
I just thought that was really great.
So great.
So as we're moving into as this break is happening, because that's when this is going to air, we just hope that you'll be able to soak up your kiddos in this time, like soak up this family time. Hopefully mom and dad can be together. Sometimes you can't because work situations, but then like whatever moments those are, I feel like I've realized it doesn't have to be all day, that to be really special and memorable. It can just be those couple hours that you have together that's just really purposeful, setting phones down, being together, turning off electronics if that is what it means, or watching a movie together. My kids sometimes get just as much from snuggling together, watching a funny movie. So it could be that too, but just we hope that you're able to soak this time up, love on your kiddos, and be filled up yourself from the love that, they'll give back.
And find little moments throughout your day to build your kids up. Because it makes such a big difference.
It helps a lot.
You don't need to do motherhood alone. Come join our village.
Exactly as you are.